everyone, Linda Israel here, and I'm going to share with you how to make a junk journal page or a page to go into a junk journal. But also, when you look at this project, it could be a really elaborate card. It could be a miniature journal, if you will, because of some of the elements that I've put in here. I've got Brutus Monroe stamps out and a few other things as well, and I'll show you what we're going to do today. So I am hosting a swap in the Friendly Junk Journal People Facebook group, and we're doing a page swap. So people have made pages that will go into a junk journal, and then they've mailed them to me, and then I'm going to reassimilate those and then send them back out. I'm waiting on one more package to arrive, so I started looking through the journal pages that were sent to me, and I was inspired to use this as a starting point for what I wanted to share with you today. This is by Liz Costin, and I loved what she did with her journal page. So she's got a page here that's got lots of things inside. I got a page that doesn't go there. And she has made a theme by using the same paper. This is a postcard. Here's a little card that she made. She added some things to the back. It could be that this was a recycled piece of paper that she used. She's used some scrapbook paper here. This looks like ribbon that has some really neat gold detail. And then there's a little band here that she's added to the front to hold pages. And then she's added some buttons. On the inside, she used some cardboard and she added some little notepad to journal upon, a postcard, and then another little note card in this pocket. Looks like she's cut some images maybe out of a calendar and added inside. And then the book itself or page itself is really thick, so maybe she had some multiple layers of paper. I'm not really sure because it doesn't say what she had in there, just that shows what she has. Here she's made a little card type notepad with lots of little pieces of paper in it to journal. This is an extra piece that was stuck behind. And then she had, I'm not sure what this cardboard was for, if it was just in here, but there's the little pieces of paper. And then she's used some embossed paper down here, more of that same scrapbook paper, another image, some lace. And then on the back side, she added a little pocket that has some things tucked into them. So just kind of looking at what she created, I decided I would use some of her elements to make my own page. To begin, I've got a card that's a tag shape. These were something I picked up for $1 years ago at Big Lots, and I haven't really used them because they were so odd. It was kind of hard for me to decide what to do with them. What I'm going to do today is I'm going to stamp the owl from I'll Always Love You on the corner of this little tag, and this will be a journal spot in the book page or journal page. If you haven't checked out the Friendly Junk Journal People Facebook group, please do so. You know, we share mainly things that are all junk journal related. Occasionally there's some things that are shared that aren't 100% junk journal, but maybe will inspire you. I just re-inked this twice because I like to get a really dark image. So there is the owl that I have added, and I'm not going to color it. I'm just going to leave it plain because I think it looks good like that. I'm going to clean my stamp and we'll move on. The page that I'm creating today, I used a piece of scrapbook paper that I have cut to 8 inches tall by 10.5 inches wide. That's because the swap that we're doing in September, this month, October, and the rest, we're going to leave this size so that everybody can make the same size when they're swapping. And I'm making this for the fall Thanksgiving type theme or harvest or whatnot. I've got 2 pieces of paper here. This particular page is from a envelope that was mailed to me, and I just trimmed it down to be the page size. And I'm going to adhere this to the other But before I do that, I want to stamp on this on the inside. So I'm just going to place this in my MISTI. I'm going to add some stamps from the Autumn Thanks stamp set. So I'm just going to put a couple of magnets on there to hold it in place. So I thought it would be kind of neat to add a couple of leaves and acorns on this page. I'm just going to ink it up with the Brutus Monroe Detail ink. I'm going to repeat it on the other side as well. Before I put my stamps away, I want to stamp this little acorn a couple of times of different sizes here. I have a tag punch by Fiskars. I'm just going to punch these into little tags so I can use them in my journal. I've got a couple of colors of chameleon pins here, and I'm just going to go in and add some color. I have my crocodile. I'm going to punch a hole in the top of this tag. I want to put some ink around the edge, so I've got Jack-o'-lantern by Brutus Monroe Surface Ink. I'm going to use my blending tool and just go around the edge. Now that I have my page stamped, I'm going to adhere it by using some glue across the top. I've got the Brutus Monroe craft glue. It'll put a very thin line of glue on my paper and it won't warp or buckle. So I'm just going to go down the line here on both edges. I'm going to go around the edge on both sides with the Jack-o'-lantern Surface Ink. I've got a scrap of paper here, actually two, that I'm going to use for my inspiration from her page of the belly band. But since it's thin paper, I'm going to glue two together. So I'm just going to use some of this Brutus Monroe craft ink. This is really nice ink. It's glue. I like it. It seems to work really well. So I'm going to use some of the glue at the top and the bottom. Trim this just a little bit to make this a belly band. I've got a little piece of ribbon here. I'm going to make a tie for my tag. I've got a piece of burlap and a little flat back gem. I'm going to glue this down at the top of this little belly band. I'll come back to the outside here in a moment because I want to make sure I get all my pieces put in. I've got a piece of corrugated cardboard that I'm going to use for my side of here, or fluted paper. And I've got another scrap of this paper from another project. And I'm just going to glue this on the edge. But before I do that, I'm going to go around it with the jack-o'-lantern. I've got another piece of burlap and a little gem that I want to put on this piece as well. On this side, I've already pre-made this. What I did was I took a Starbucks cup holder or sleeve and I cut the bottom to be even so it's nice and straight. Then I went around it with some distressed ink. I stamped the I'll love you and colored it with chameleon markers. I also added a little bit of glimmer to that by using Tulip Dimensional Fabric Paint. This is just like, in my opinion, Stickles, but it's a whole lot less expensive because you get so much more. And I just put it on there and it dries. It takes it a little bit, 10 minutes or so to dry. And then I stamped the I'll always love you and put it at an angle. And I'm going to glue this at the bottom of this page so it can be a tuck spot. So remember that I made this little tag earlier. I'm going to use the jack-o'-lantern and go around the edge. And I don't want this to be closed all the way, so I'm going to only go through the front page with a piece of ribbon, since I'm using this same ribbon. And I'm going to incorporate this little tag and tie a bow. Now for this side of the pocket, I've got a little project here to make. I saved a package from when I purchased some beads, and I've got a piece of burlap here, and what I want to do is adhere this down using, I'm going to use Aleene's tacky glue because it's a little bit thicker. So I'm just going to make a good generous coat all the way around the perimeter and then down the middle to adhere this to the burlap. And then I'm going to put some more of glue on the bottom because I want to cover this bottom portion. I'm going to use my crocodile to punch the hole that's in this. Now I went and cut some paper up. This was a scrap that I had, and this graph paper was left over from a traveler's notebook. And I sewed on my sewing machine some little ribbon on there. You could use a stapler to put that on there. So what I'm going to do is set this inside here, and then I took the bag that the beads came in that was with this and saved it, and I filled it with some more of those gems and some sequins so that others could use those when I give it as a swap. And then I'm going to place this inside here, and I've got this little mini clip that I'm going to put on here to help hold everything in place. I'm going to tie a little tie here at the top. And then I have this owl sticker that I got from Michael's a long time ago on clearance, and I thought that would look kind of cute on here, and it kind of goes with my owl theme that I have going on. I need to readjust this. Put it this way. There. So that holds that all together. So this is something that's going to go in here as well. So I'm just going to pop this in. I'm going to attach it. That's what I'll do. Alright, for the back, I've got another piece of the Starbucks that I've cut all the way across. So now I'm going to use some distress ink and go around the edge. I have a little scrap again of that paper that I'm going to glue on here. I stamped the Thankful for You from the Brutus Monroe stamp set. Where'd it go? Autumn Thanks. Then I've got a little piece of burlap here. And I'm going to adhere this down and add a little gem. And then this will go on the back side. I've got a little note card here, 2 of them. These were scraps of paper that I stamped with a notebook image, and I'm gone around the edge with the surface ink. And I want to stamp, I think I want to stamp a little leaf on there. I changed my mind. I'm going to use the wheat that is in the Autumn Thanks, and I'm going to do it right across. Across the top here. I have another project to add to this. I've taken an envelope and I have trimmed it down. So this was a used envelope that had the postage information, and I cut the top and the sides. The flap was already glued down. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stamp a couple of leaves on the back of this. I'm going to use the jack-o'-lantern to go around the edge. I've got some washi tape here and another scrap of paper. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay these in my Tattered Angel spray box. Basically, it's just a shoebox. And I've got some sunflower. I'm going to spray both of these pieces. I'll dry these with my heat tool. I want this piece to be a little bit darker, so I'm going to use my jack-o'-lantern. I'm just going to go direct to the paper and mush it to it on both sides. Now you're wondering why I have this little piece. Because I no longer have a flap on the envelope, I needed to make one. So I just cut a piece of book page the same width as my envelope, And then I've got some washi tape here. I think I'm going to use this one just because it's funky. And I'm going to adhere the washi tape to the edge. All the way over to the other edge. I flipped it over and I'm doing the other side as well. I'm going to take a little piece and cover up this UPC code. I have another scrap of paper here, so I'm going to use my surface ink and add some color to it. I'm going to glue a little strip of paper along the top edge. I'm going to fold over my new flap for my envelope. And I adhered it to the wrong side. That happens. We're going to make this work because I think if I put this down here, alright, so what I'm going to do is take my sewing machine and sew down both sides. Alright, so here's my card that will go inside. And you'll be able to see it through the window. And then I'll fold this over. And I'm going to make little flaps by folding it up to the washi tape line. And I'll glue these in place. I have a couple of little leaves here. I think I'm going to use these to help keep the flap closed. So they're tucked under these leaves. This is going to go right here. On the front cover, I made a prototype for one of my other junk journals, and I saved the piece because I wanted to see how it would come together, and I thought, well, we're using the stamp sets for fall, and this one is from Turkey Day. I will be grateful for this day. So I just adhered my panel that I made onto another piece of cardstock, and now I have a pocket. Here I use a scrap of paper, and then this was just a little notepad that I picked up a while back, and I trimmed it to fit. I put some burlap at the top, and I sewed some ribbon, and then this fits down inside. And I thought this would look cute on the front of this page. Alright, so now we've got this back here. I think what I need to do next is I need to change how I've got this. I made a paper clip using a scrap, folded in half. It's 1.5 inches wide and about 3 inches long. A piece of burlap, another one of the stickers from the little set that I had, and a little gem. And I think if I do it like this, it will fit on there. And then I can put this little acorn at the top. But wait, I just realized I'm not done, because there are pockets here on this page, and I have 2 more sheets of paper here. I'm going to use my crocodile corner rounder and round the corners. Then I'm going to go around these with some of the surface ink. And then I've made out of scraps some little tabs, and I thought those would look cute right here on the edge. So I'm just going to adhere these on the edge with the Brutus Monroe glue. And then these can go in the pockets that I created. Well, I'm not going to put it in the other one. I'll just put it in this one for now. Alright, so let's go through this really quick. I made a band on the front, made the little pocket here. Then there's a pocket here that holds a card. On the inside, we have another little pocket that holds an envelope that has a little card inside of it. And then over here, I've got this little bag of embellishments that I made. And then I have a large journaling card that can be written on. Since I've taken the paper clip off, I'll put one of these over here. And this is a pocket on this side as well. And this goes right here. And then on the back side, we have the little acorn with a clip holding it, two little journal cards, and there it is. There is a fall themed, thankful theme for a page swap that I'll be having in October in the Friendly Junk Journal People Facebook group. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Share it with your friends so that others can see what I'm doing here and hopefully be inspired to create wonderful things. Comment below what you thought about this project or if you have questions. If you're interested in the products that I shared today, these are from Brutus Monroe, and the description box will have a link to the blog post where all of these items can be purchased. I do get a commission if you purchase through my link. So if you're going to buy anyway, use my link. I greatly appreciate it because I don't get paid to do this. And these are just things that I love. And if you haven't already, join the Friendly Junk Journal People Facebook group. Thanks so much for watching today. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you. Have a fabulous day. Bye.